Paul Heyman really just spoil Christmas for all of these kids? I want to see a tag team run between Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer. Seth Rollins legitimately is injured, but the injury is worst case. What is up, wrestling fans, Santa's elves, and El Grande Americanos? I'm Ben Allison. I have analysed last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, and here are my 5 key findings. In at number 5, Bron Breakker becoming leader seemingly confirms that not only Seth Rollins legitimately is injured, but the injury is worst case. Let's just take these conspiracy hats off for a second, right? Because the fact they waited quite a few weeks to actually announce this, and for Bron Breakker to say, okay, I'm the leader now, I mean, it makes it clear this wasn't a plan, this wasn't a work, this is a pivot. And while this Bron Breakker accelerated push is fantastic for Bron, the issue, of course, is for Seth Rollins, and the question is now, does he need surgery? If so, this could be 9 months. If not, this could be 3 months. Either way, it's not a work, and either way, it doesn't look good. The only kind of positive you could even make from this is Seth Rollins does have an opportunity to become the first person to return from a long-term injury by cashing in Money in the Bank. It would be another fantastic moment in the phenomenal career of Seth Rollins, but obviously the fact that he's out injured sucks. In at number 4, I want to see a tag team run between Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer. As soon as these two were standing next to each other last night on Raw, I thought to myself, hang on a second, these two together could be money. I mean, if Rhea Ripley loses at SummerSlam, which I presume she will, and then Stephanie Vaquer loses in front, like I presume she will, then bang, you need something to do with both of them going forward. And Rhea Ripley has been around this World Championship now for a long time, so for her to do something else instead, I think this would be the perfect solution. They'd sell bucket loads of merchandise together, they'd elevate the Women's Tag Team Championships, I have no doubt about that. And when they eventually do split, this could be a WrestleMania singles program, and I would love that for both of them. They look good together, and they have both similar looks, similar attires, but they are different enough. They are different enough to be separate and for you to tell them apart, right? So I do think this needs to happen. In at number 3, did Paul Heyman really just spoil Christmas for all of these kids? There were so many young kids in the crowd. There was 3 or 4 in the front row right in front of Paul Heyman, as he said yesterday that Santa isn't real. He basically ruined their dreams for them. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, it's great heel heat. But no, these kids are not going to start booing Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed now more because of this. They're just going to go home, cry, everything is going to be ruined for them. Their reality is just shattered. And honestly, it's probably going to be so traumatic for them, they end up becoming sociopaths. Paul Heyman, this is all your fault. But outside of that, a really good promo by Paul Heyman, really enjoyed it. But before we do go any further, if you guys could do me a huge favor and leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, that helps me out absolutely massively. Plus hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. In at number 2, I'm El Grande Americano, you're El Grande Americano, we're all El Grande Americano. Maybe the real El Grande Americanos were the El Grande Americanos which we made along the way. Because yet again, we have a brand new El Grande Americano, and this time, it is seemingly Pete Dunne, which I do have to say is a little bit of a weird one. But, despite me having issues with this storyline when it first started, it has grown on me, to the point where at this point, I am genuinely enjoying it. Ludwig Kaiser has been doing a phenomenal job with this gimmick, and the fact that he can speak Spanish makes it literally 10 times better. The reaction he got at Triple R this past week was fantastic. And I guess now we are going to have a storyline about who the real El Grande Americano is, and there's going to be tons of them. There's going to be bucket loads of fun. So consider me sports entertained. Is this going to win an Oscar? Absolutely not. But is it enjoyable? At least for me, yes. And in at number 1, Gunther versus CM Punk has been ridiculously rushed, but this week's promo was ridiculously good. Considering, according to WWE Unreal, the original plan for the WrestleMania Night 1 main event last year was CM Punk versus Gunther, you would think that they'd probably have a bit more substance to this story. They'd have plans for what they want to do, but seemingly they just don't. And of course, a big reason for this is the lack of time they've had. I've said it over and over and over again recently. WWE are doing too many events right now. But even still, they had 3 weeks, and it's only really this week which has achieved anything. But Punk's promo this week did what he is best at, and that is getting in his opponent's heads, which is something that Gunther is notoriously good at as well. So this should have been the story. They should have been trying to really get into each other's heads for weeks and weeks and weeks, all leading to this promo, and it would have been even better. But hey, at the end of the day, it did what it meant to do. Gunther was fuming at the end of it, and now going into SummerSlam, I honestly don't know who's going to win this match, because I would have bet on Punk, but at this point now, Gunther is fired up, and you can never bet against a fired up Gunther. And I guess ultimately that was the point in this segment, so that is why it worked, and it worked well. But enough about my thoughts, let's get into the thoughts which you guys have submitted to us via the Wrestling Republic broadcast channel. Jose99 says the highs were the 8-woman tag, the Michael Cole losing it over getting another El Grande Americano, and the lows were the opening promo, Sheamus versus Waller, and the main event in general. I personally really like the main event angle, and yes, it's another DQ, which I know both me and you have an issue with, Jose, the amount of DQs at the minute, but I don't mind it in this case, because ultimately it built that match for SummerSlam, which was the purpose of this go-home show. And I'm not really sure what they're doing with Grayson Waller at all. I mean, I guess I'll wait and see, at least he's on TV, but it's not good, is it? D-Man003 says the highs with the women's division keeping killing it. The lows were Bron Breakker's not as ready as he thought, not buying his promo/mic work the last couple of weeks. I think that is incredibly harsh. I think he's doing a fine job. Is he cutting, promo of the year contenders? Absolutely not. But he's doing decent promos, and the point of putting him in this position is to kind of chuck him in the deep end a little bit. I mean, it's not his fault that Seth Rollins has gotten injured, and the fact that he is making maybe minor mistakes here and there is going to mean he is going to improve. The Real Som 2 says SummerSlam is shaping up to be an amazing card, and this show proved all divisions can be showcased on one card. I mean, that is true. I'm still not convinced at all with the build for SummerSlam, but on paper it is stacked. Coach23 says the highs was it was a good go-home show, and the Hogan tribute was a fantastic tribute once again, but the lows were, as much as I like Braun with Paul E, without Seth, they need another player. And I won't disagree with you on that one. I really won't. Austin Theory, what is he doing? Is he really injured? If he's not, get him in. But last but certainly not least, we got one from Shard Talk Scraps, who says the highs were Kyrie reminding people why she's one of the best out there, and the lows were Bron Breakker cutting promos. What is it, guys, with this Bron Breakker hate? This dude is young. He has been thrown into the deep end. We were asking for him to be thrown into the deep end. It's happened. He is doing a great job 9 times out of 10, and people are now complaining about it. It is completely and utterly unfair. You have got to be able to learn on the job, and that is what Breakker is doing, and Breakker is doing it well. Is it a 5-star promo? No. But is he going to be cutting 5-star promos in 5 years? Absolutely. And the work he is putting in now is going to contribute to that. It is called a long-term investment for a reason. And even then, like I said, a lot of the work Breakker is doing is fantastic. This has actually bothered me. I'm a little bit heated about this. But before I just blow up over these Bron Breakker hate, I'm just going to end the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Thumbs up and like are the same thing, but I said them twice anyway. Have a fantastic Tuesday. I will see you on Saturday. Peace.